Welcome back. Today, we're going to fundamentally rewire how you experience the professional world. In this explainer, we're zooming in on a concept straight out of day 8 of the unshakable use source material. It's this incredibly powerful idea called the Invincibility Paradox. So if you've ever felt that awful sting of a missed job opportunity, or maybe you're navigating a career transition right now and just really feeling the heavy weight of the market, well, I want you to listen closely. We're setting a pretty aggressive, empowering tone today because we are going to completely reprogram how you view the whole concept of rejection. Let's jump right in.
Okay, let's dive into this. They did not reject you. I want to just completely interrupt whatever pattern of doubt or anxiety you might be holding on to right now and boldly lay out this core truth from our source material. Listen to me very closely here. The companies that passed on your resume, those cold automated emails you get, they literally did not reject you. In fact, according to the architecture of this mindset we're exploring, they actually couldn't reject you, even if they wanted to.
Let's completely redefine this entire experience, right? We are officially crossing out that traditional, painful definition of rejection. In this framework, rejection is actually a psychological impossibility. That is, when you possess radical self-belief and when you've just plain out outgrown a company's low corporate ceiling. Really think about that for a second. When you step into this state of absolute radical self-belief, the very concept of rejection simply ceases to exist. What actually happened? Well, they took a look at your raw trajectory, they looked up at their own limited corporate infrastructure, and they realized, hey, we simply cannot afford where this person is going.
Section 1. The Diamond and the Mud. A Value Mechanics Audit. And this brilliantly illustrates the dynamic of the modern job market. You are the diamond. This represents your flawless, rare, and priceless internal architecture. All those years of late nights, the massive crises you've solved, your strategic brilliance. But the corporate HR systems and those keyword matching algorithms, they're the mud. Heavy, dark, and completely blind to the incredible asset that's sitting right inside it.
Now let me ask you this directly. If an unrefined, priceless diamond falls out of a velvet box and lands straight into a puddle of mud, does its molecular structure change? Does it suddenly transform into dirt? Does its value just drop to zero because it happens to be temporarily surrounded by sludge? Absolutely not. The environment it fell into doesn't alter its internal composition by a single atom. So here's the reality you really need to absorb. The mud cannot process the diamond's light. Most professionals, they treat a generic corporate rejection like they've literally just been turned into dirt. You get this generic, automated message and your brain goes, well, I must be worthless. No, you're the diamond. The corporate gatekeeper who reviewed your application, who was literally just ticking boxes on a screen, they're the mud. The mud doesn't have the clarity, the insight, or the strategic vision to look past their little checklist and actually see the raw power of the asset sitting right in front of them. It just means the mud is being mud.
Moving on to Section 2, Market Price versus True Value.
Now, I want you to take these immediate tactical steps today to actually apply this sovereign mindset. Step 1, wash the mud off. Step 2, stop sitting in the puddle complaining about the text of an automated email. And step 3, stand up, rinse away all that noise, and look at your real, intrinsic worth. You have to take immediate ownership and shake off that corporate rejection, because honestly, your personal sovereignty depends on it. A rejection is just a collection of pixels on a screen. It only hurts if you manually take it and weaponize it against yourself. So stop doing that.
Which leads us to a massive question, one that really challenges some deeply ingrained societal conditioning. Does the market determine your value? Think about it. We're taught from our very first day in the workforce that a salary, a fancy corporate title, or a job offer dictates our actual worth as human beings. We are basically trained to walk through the world like children, begging a broken system for a gold star. But listen, the market is just weather. It's just rain. So does it really determine your value? Let's move to and see how this builds, because we have to clearly separate how companies price roles from how you actually generate value. The market, it only determines a temporary price of a specific job role. That is it. It fluctuates based on, 100 different economic variables, corporate restructurings, algorithms, things you have zero control over. But your internal truth? That is completely intrinsic. It's absolute. And it certainly doesn't fluctuate just because some recruiter somewhere is having a bad day. So the crucial point is this. Your real, undeniable value is determined exclusively by your unbreakable internal traits. We're talking about your intellect, your discipline, and your absolute refusal to break. When you solve a massive, complex crisis, or when you upskill yourself late at night in the dark, that goes straight into your own internal ledger. No HR department can liquidate your intellect. No layoff can somehow strip your discipline from your record. These are the true determinants of value, and they belong entirely, 100% to you.
All right, Section 3, the Manifesto, Cosmic Alignment.
You are one self-contained unit of absolute capability. I want you to hear this directly from me. You are a singular, completely independent powerhouse. You require zero external validation to prove your competence. You're like an entire ecosystem all on your own, the soil, the root, and the tree. You don't need their flimsy corporate scaffolding to stand tall. Because when you truly adopt this unshakable mindset, you fundamentally reframe your entire reality. A missed job opportunity isn't a tragedy. It isn't a crisis. It's a cosmic alignment redirecting your massive energy. Let the small minds miss their opportunity with you. Their loss is simply a mandatory redirection toward a platform, a culture, and a leadership structure that can actually handle your massive scale and utilize that incredible engine of your mind. This whole philosophy really boils down to one high-voltage truth from our source material. You do not need a recruiter to appraise you because you already know your carrot weight. Let that fiercely anchor you in your own absolute worth today. You are the one who engineered all your past successes through raw skill and intellect. You already know your carrot weight, and frankly, it is not up for public debate.
And that brings us to our final, provocative thought for this explainer. Now that you know your carrot weight, where will you direct your diamond's light next? You're the architect of your own reality, completely independent of their corporate structures. I want you to take this rhythmic, unbreakable worldview into literally everything you do. Do not ask for permission to rule your own mind. You are the asset. You are invincible. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. Now go execute on your own terms.